Prepare your crawl space for a vapor barrier and the insulation along the sides to stop your pests from coming in, such as mice, squirrels, dare I say snakes coming in, as they feel the warmth around the foundation. So they feel that from the outside, they feel warmth, and they go, hey, let's come in. It could be a little, I'm sure you've seen mice can get through little tiny holes and get it in. So if we insulate that in such a way that they can't feel the warmth from to begin with, the mice won't want to come in because they won't know to come in. The other thing we need to do is first thing we need to do is make sure the crawl space is clean, and I mean clean. Let's get it all completely raked out. What we're trying to do when we're cleaning the crawl space is to get out old pieces of wood. This can't be touching the ground because it's termite damaged wood that I pulled out of my crawl space. We use to fix all the structure. Leave construction debris down there. Metal all rot. There's wire. Anything that is biodegradable you do not want on your crawl space floor. The next thing you want to do is get everything that we want to keep in the crawl space off of the floor. If this stays on the floor and mice do happen to get in, they will get into this. They'll eat it up, and they'll be in your ventilation system, and the smell is disgusting, and it'll be blowing around your house, not to mention unsanitary. The other thing is, if it's sitting on the ground, this will absorb moisture eventually, and it will make the heat duct fail, and then there'll be mold in your house. So we just need to pick this up and put on what's called duct webbing. This is about 2 inch thick. It's rather inexpensive, and you'll find it in the heating and cooling section at your hardware store. So you just pick that up, staple, nail, or screw it to your joist. Make sure your duct's not bent or kinked in such a manner that it restricts the airflow. In my farmhouse there's actually a cloth cased wire, which is pretty good. It means we were probably electrified in the 40s, 50s, if I had to guess. This is okay. It has a ground, and it's much safer than knob and tube. So I'm not going to have to mess with the electric too much in here. So I want to make sure that your wiring, if they're touching the ground, you bring them up and you use a wire staple, or they have these neat little clips. See, I think I have one in my pocket. You're going to use a wire stapler like this. Lift your wire up, make sure it's flat against your joist, put it in here, and drive that in like a nail, and it will hold this upright. But I have the old-fashioned kind in here, which is okay. Make sure when you're disposing of your waste, you do it appropriately. Rent a dumpster, put it out in your local waste, put it in a pickup truck, take it to the dump. I know being in a rural setting, it's okay to burn. If you want to burn your wood waste, that should be okay. Just check with your local fire department. However, many things are illegal to burn. Just make sure you dispose of them appropriately. We've opted not to burn anything, and I've just rented a dumpster. We filled it twice now. First of all, a vapor barrier is your first line of defense for bugs, because bugs need water to live, such as ants and termites, even spiders. They all like dark, damp places because it's good for their exoskeleton, and it keeps them healthy and alive. So if we put down plastic, that'll help keep the moisture down, keep bugs out, also keep moisture out, which is also what wood hates. Wood hates moisture when it's dead. So we want to keep water away from the wood. That'll keep it from rotting, 1. And 2, it'll make it less likely for bugs to come in and start to eat at your lumber. So we just did all this hard work on our joists, our beams, and we put everything back in correct. It should last another 150 years, maybe longer, if we use a vapor barrier. I've decided to go with a 6 mil plastic. This is 10 foot by 100 foot roll. This is, you could buy thicker and you could buy thinner. I just opted to go with this. If there's a rock that I roll over or something, I just don't want it to rip. I just don't want this to rip when someone's crawling around down here. That would defeat the purpose all the way around. So we'll roll this out. You could also use things like Tyvek or a standard house wrap. Just make sure you install it with the print side down, because that stuff is made to withstand the elements on one side, and it allows air and stuff to come through. It's an interesting product. Just make sure that the lettering's down. That's the lettering that you would see when you nail on your subsiding. So you could use that as well in your crawl space if you have some of that around. But I have to go with plastic. It's cheap and efficient, and it works. Let's roll it out. I do want to note, since this is a 10 foot wide piece of plastic, after it unfolds, You might want to come away from the walls a good 5 feet, because when this unfolds, it'll go 5 feet that way, 5 feet that way. So we don't want to have to really manipulate it too much. As you're rolling this out, up in the corners and up against the exterior walls, I want the plastic to go all the way up to it, even roll up it just a hair. And then take a brick or something non-biodegradable. You could use a piece of pressure-treated lumber, but brick foundation, typically there's bricks in the crawl space. Just pick one up, throw in a corner, a rock, cinder block, anything. So that will keep this where it needs to be. Wherever you have an existing pier, or those piers over there that I put in when I lifted my staircase. You saw that in an earlier video. But you're going to have to cut your vapor barrier. You still want your vapor barrier to come up around these, and you can foam in around these if you'd like. You take your plastic tight, push it up against your pier, come up a little bit where you feel the crease where it goes up. Put your knife in it, and then just come straight up. Make sure it fits pretty snug. If there's something in the future you'd like to see me do with my old farmhouse, let me know. I'm planning on starting a series, so make sure you subscribe up here. It's fresh, new. I've never done this before. I've already got 5, 6, 7 videos out there, and I plan on doing 1 or 2 a week. And until my house is done, it's probably going to take me 6 or 7 months, easy. So we'll touch base on all points of an old farmhouse. So again, I'm Jay with FootstepsInThePast.com, and this is my old farmhouse. Thanks for stopping. See you later.